Good morning, Brian here, and we are back at Durant Nature Park once again for this very first episode of The Triangle Naturally. The first 3 or 4 Triangle Naturally videos were shot here in Durant Park when I was still sort of toying around with what to call this video series. As I explained in the intro video, I settled on the title of The Triangle Naturally because that was the blog that I was writing. So in those first few videos, you'll hear me call this series something else. One question you might have is, why Durant? Why do we always come back to Durant? I've been hiking here since probably 1999, about when I moved to the Raleigh area. It's not far from my house. It's usually not crowded. It's one of, I think, 3 nature preserve parks in the entire Raleigh park system. The kids and I like to come up and go for walks in the woods. So Durant became a park, a city park in 1979, and was declared a nature preserve park where, more than half of the park is set aside as just natural habitat for wildlife and native plants. And before it became a park, from like the 1920s, this whole area, 237 acres, was an old Boy Scout camp. And you could still see bits and pieces of its Boy Scout legacy. The training lodge, Campbell Hall, those are both old facilities here. And if you keep an eye out, you can see other sort of archaeological remnants of what the Boy Scout camp used to look like. Beauty of the park can't be denied. The park's lakes and streams are both gorgeous of themselves, plus are magnets for both wildlife and wildlife watchers. In the spring and summer, the wildflowers put on a fantastic show, and in the fall, the trees put on a dazzling display of amazing fall color. And speaking of wildlife, this park is just amazing for its diversity. The Carolina Bird Club estimates that over 160 species of birds have been seen in this park, and at least 70 of those are regular breeders here or have bred at one time or another. There's just a wealth of reptile and amphibian species. We've seen all kinds of critters here. At least 3 species of skinks. There are 2 that are kind of hard to tell apart, and they look almost identical. So 3, maybe 4. We've seen Carolina gnolls, tons of turtles, 4 different kinds of snakes. Now I've only seen 3 kinds of mammals. Wait, no, 4. I just saw 4. We've seen deer and gray squirrels and raccoons. Today I saw my first eastern cottontail rabbit here in the park. I've seen evidence for, but I've never actually seen beavers in the park. I know they were here at one point, and you see evidence of them all along the trails along the lakes, but I've yet to see one actually in the park. I've only seen 4 species of mammals, but I'm sure there are coyotes and possums, bats, foxes, all sorts of mice, rats, and voles. Oh, there goes a hawk. Let's go see what it was. Dang, I missed him. It looked like a red-shouldered hawk, which would be the 3rd species of hawk that I've seen here in the park. Red-tailed hawks, broad-winged hawks, a red-shouldered hawk. That's really cool. Anyway, I was saying, I'm sure there are loads of mice and rats and voles here doing their thing when nobody's looking. And did I mention the fish? There are lots. From these tiny mosquito fish to shiners and minnows, chubs and sunfish, up to some serious lunker bass. There are a lot of fish. The hiking trails here, 5 miles of them or so, are all easily navigated even by the littlest of legs. My 3 youngest, all the way down to my 2-year-old, love coming up here. Chorus frogs kicking in down there. The trails wind their way through a wide variety of habitats. Dry upland forest, boggy swamp lowlands, creeks and lake shores, pine glades, south-facing slopes and north-facing slopes. Wide variety of habitats. I think that's why this park supports such a wide variety and wide diversity of plant and animal species. So that's just a quick introduction to the park here and why we like coming here and why I shoot so much video here. There's never a trip when we've come here that I've not found something new or seen something really cool to film and to learn more about. Thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoy this new series. Nature really has some amazing things to show us as long as we stay curious. Thanks. We'll see you next time.